The next piece that we have to go over is administrator roles. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look over the administrator roles right at the top level. So if we're going to do that, we might as well start with the big boy. Let's go in with Global Administrator. Now this is the administrator of your Office 365 tenant. And I mean, it is the administrator of everything. It falls all the way through it. So it goes all the way through your admin portal, through Exchange, SharePoint, Skype for Business. It goes absolutely everywhere as an administrator. Now the importance to note is when you first create your tenant, whatever account you create it with is going to be a global administrator account. Now it's also good to note that you should have an onmicrosoft.com account as a global administrator. That way, if you bring over your domain and you set up your account as a global administrator and something goes wrong between syncs or anything like that, you always have that backup account that's sitting there that's got the permissions to make the changes you need. Okay, let's continue on. The next one is our billing administrator. This has the ability to make purchases, manage subscriptions, and of course the billing. It doesn't have permissions to do anything else. It cannot create accounts, it can't go in and all of a sudden start submitting tickets or anything along those lines. What its capabilities are is very specific underneath the billing section. Now, password administrator. This has the ability to reset passwords. So you can already see this is something I would hand off to our help desk as an example, because they can go in there and they can reset users' passwords. But what about the next one? Service administrator. Well, this is another one that I can add to a group that will allow them to open support requests. It'll also let them see the service dashboard so they know what's going on. So they can see if there's any problems that day inside of O365, and if it's not there but they've got a bunch of tickets on something, they can send in a support request. Now the next one is the user management administrator. This allows people to manage and create non-admin users and groups. And I want to make sure I make note of that, just so everybody remembers this. They can create anything they want. They can create O365 groups, they can create distribution groups, security groups, mail-enabled security groups, they can create specific users, but they cannot turn around and hand anything to them except permissions underneath administrator. So they couldn't delete an administrator, they couldn't create an administrator. That's just not possible. So it's a great group to turn around and hand off to, like a help desk tier 2 team that is able to go in there and actually create all these things for you. Okay, so those are our basic 5, or I'll say our main 5. But we're going to talk about some additional ones for a moment. We're going to go one level lower here. So we've got our Exchange administrator, which administers everything inside of Exchange. It can turn around and can set up its distribution groups, it can set up rooms, it can turn around and have endpoints set up, and so on and so forth. We also have our SharePoint administrator, able to go in and set up search and site collections and so on. We've got our Skype for Business administrator. We also have a compliance administrator, and this will take care of all of the security and compliance policies, but they don't get permissions anywhere else. And last but not least, Dynamics 365 administrator, which you already know is taking care of Dynamics 365, able to permission people and so on. Now, I know we did a rough overview of these. What I'm going to suggest is if you get a chance, go over to this very long URI. I do apologize, but that's the actual full URI. And you can learn more about the Office 365 admin roles. And if new ones are added in or old ones are removed or names are changed, make sure you check this just to make sure you know exactly what they are. Okay, we've talked a lot about this stuff. What we're going to do right now is go jump into that demo. And we're going to do a very straightforward thing. We're going to create a new user. We're going to call it admin. You know that it's going to be on our, you got it, on Microsoft.com account. We're going to assign global administrator rights to it. Okay, let's go jump over and get that taken care of, shall we? Alright, so everything's set up. Let's head into the admin portion for a moment. Now when this loads up, it's automatically going to start giving us some really cool things. Welcome to the new O365 Admin Center. So let's click Next. It's going to tell us where we can search. Click Next. Let's go shoot way over here for a moment and navigate the Admin Center. So we're just going to click these out so it's all finished. What we're here to do is very specific. We're going to go down and drop down Users, and we're going to go over to Active Users. Now what we want to do here is we want to add a user. So let's turn around and we're going to make sure we add our admin. So let's first name admin, and we'll set the last name to be test. The display name will automatically appear for us, and of course our username, we'll just set it as admin. Now the location for this user is going to be in the United States, and you notice we've got password here. It It'll auto-generate one and email it off, but I actually want to create one and I don't want to force them to actually redo it. So let's just put it in here, our super secret password. Perfect. And of course, you'll notice we've got our product licenses. We're going to turn it on for it. That's it. We're not going to actually create one without a product license. And we're going to click Add. Very straightforward. Now you'll notice here, we've got the user was added. We can send off an email. We can edit the user. That's what we're going to do right now. So you see where it says role. So any user that's created or we sync up, we have the ability to turn around and create a role for it. We've got the global administrator role right here. And of course, we're going to have to enter a valid email address. So I'm actually going to use our new email address at globalmanticca.onmicrosoft.com. Let's finish that up. There we go. Perfect. Let's save that. And voila. Let's close it out. We now have an account called admin test, which is just admin at the globalmanticca.onmicrosoft.com. That's a global administrator. Very quick, very easy. Now, one last thing I want to show you here. I'm going to just shoot over here for just a moment. I want to edit roles one more time. We're going to click on Learn More about Administrative Roles. Here what you're going to see is it gives you the ability to look at all the different roles that are available. And if you just go down this whole thing, it'll show you every single role that we can add to somebody and actually what each of them does. So make sure you take a look at that. Now to get to those, this is an interesting one. It's just customized. If you click on Customize, it'll give you all the ones that we talked about that you didn't see in that initial 3. Okay, let's cancel out of here, close that down, and we're good. We've got our administrator, we've got it as a global administrator, so life is perfect. All right, I will see you in the next one in a couple moments.